Hey, hello. I need to talk to you. I need to talk to the woman that is spending hours and hours a night doing surveys and little tasks and little things that take a lot of time that don't make you a lot of money. I need to talk to that person. So if that is you, well, then listen up, I guess. Now, before diving into the rest of this video, I really wanted to introduce the sponsor of today's video, which is Brevo. Brevo is an amazing platform, and one of the things I love most about them is the idea of converting a person you've already connected to, so like a lead, into a paying client. So if you are somebody who is working with clients or you're wanting to work with clients, even if it's, a membership, anything that you're wanting to take somebody from maybe your content and turn them into a paying customer or client, then Brevo has the features for you. So not only do they have an entire backend that you can use, but they also have automatic features like SMS, which is text message. So you could post a piece of content and trigger an automation where they're actually getting text messages from you, which is crazy. And you can also do the same thing with email. So if you are wanting to take content creation, freelancing, any kind of client work seriously in 2026, if that's going to be part of how you are making money this year, then you need to check out Brevo. You can actually get a discount using my link in the description. I'll also have it as the first pinned comment. So make sure to check out that link and make sure to use my promo. All the information will be below. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of Fancy Hands or Rev. And then there was this one, I think it's called Survey Dollar. I can't remember, but I've tried all the things that claim to be easy ways to make money, but then you spend like hours doing a task and you only make like 50 cents or $4 or something so small, and you realize you're literally getting paid $1 an hour to do these tasks for other people. And I don't think that's very fair to you. And honestly, it's just they sell it as a get rich quick type of thing. Like you can make hundreds of dollars doing surveys online, but at the end of the day, no. I mean, you can, but you're going to do like a million surveys to make $100. So I really want to clear the air. I have been that person. I have done all of those things, and I want to really show you the real way that you can actually make money. And we're going to stop with the surveys, stop with the little fancy hands task and things like that. I want to show you real ways to make money. So it was my older sister. I mean, this was years ago. I want to say like, I don't even know, 2011, 2012, something like that, way back when. And she told me about Fancy Hands, which is a website where you do little tasks. You do little which is a website where you do little tasks for various people that have signed up for this website to hire essentially freelancers. I didn't even know that term back then, but they have various tasks from, little building Excel sheets and or for example, something I did was I had to call multiple hotels and get quotes. This was, when rates weren't as accessible online. And I had to ask various questions that this person, the client, wanted me to do. I got paid $5 to do that. And then when I worked it out, I was literally getting paid about $1 an hour for this fancy hands task. So, I did away with that. I was like, this isn't worth my time. And then I started trying other ways to make money online. And I heard of Rev, which is a transcription service website. I would transcribe mostly like medical conversations, and you would get paid like cents per minute or something. Let me tell you, they pay you per minute of what you transcribed, not like how many minutes you actually spent. And if you're trying to transcribe a medical doctor saying all these medical terms you do not understand, yeah, it's like gonna take hours and hours. And it did. It would take me so long for this like 10-minute voice recording that they're only gonna pay me for 10 minutes, cents per minute. And I spent hours and hours on it. So, and they ding you if you get things incorrect. Have to make sure that you're doing it right. And there were some that were a little easier, but I was at this stage, I had a newborn baby, and I can't just like have headphones on and ignore my surroundings, right? So that just wasn't going to work for me. And then we fast forward all this time, by the way, I'm still working a corporate job. I've always worked in corporate my entire life up until like 2020, which we'll talk about soon. But I always worked like a 40-hour per week job. So it was in 2016 or 2015, around there, that my husband came home one day. He was my boyfriend at the time, husband now. And he told me about Casey Neistat on YouTube. And at the time, I always looked at YouTube as like a music listening platform, never watched like videos of people. And I wasn't really not that interested. I was like, well, I don't know who this is. I don't have any interest in watching this guy vlogging his life. But I gave it a shot and we soon got addicted just to the concept more than anything, and just being able to see somebody's actual real life in New York. And he was doing daily vlogging at the time. So we actually went back in time and was watching from the very first daily vlog he did, and got caught up to real time. And then it was just really like a daily thing we did. We watched Casey Neistat's life unfold on camera, and it really inspired us to do it for ourselves, though our life is definitely not as entertaining and exciting and life in New York as Casey Neistat. But we did it anyway. And the point of all of this is, at the time, we were editing, we were filming videos on our phone. We were editing on, I think, my movie from my Dell laptop. And I did this for years. Like, we struggled through the YouTube journey. I think I had reached, I don't know, around like 1,000, 2,000 subscribers on YouTube in 3 years' time. And I was tapping through stories one day. One of my favorite content creators, Katie Steckley, had posted a story that she was hiring for something. I really didn't even know what it was. It said like creative assistant. And I was like, I don't know what this is, but like, it's interesting. I told my husband and he was like, go for it. Like, you got this. And just so supportive. And remember, I have a baby. I have a 40-hour per week job. And then now I'm applying for this position with Katie Steckley where I don't even know what it entails. There was no mention of money or hours or anything on the story. So I was sitting there scrambling, like, okay, she asked for a portfolio. I don't even know what that is, but I built one in Canva, and I didn't have any clients I'd worked for. So I had to consider myself a client. I posted, and in this PDF, I put myself, my videos, my thumbnails, my social media posts. And then I also did a little, and then I also did a preview. If I were creating for Katie, here's some stuff I created. That way she could see that I could adapt to clients as well. So I got the interview and I was so nervous, just like anyone is for an interview. And then the most amazing thing happened. The interview went so great. And I actually like enjoyed it, which was so weird because any interview I had in the past with corporate and stuff, I had almost like blacked out. It's just like, what did I even say? I don't know. But she was asking me questions that I felt super confident answering. So, like, walk me through creating a thumbnail in Canva. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've done that hundreds of times, I can tell you. And it just felt so easy and natural because it was something I was excited about and passionate about, and something I felt really confident in. And sure enough, she offered me a job, but it was like 10 hours a week. And I'm like, girl, I have a full-time job too and a baby. Like, what am I going to do? And luckily at the time, I did work from home full-time with my corporate job. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it because it's an opportunity that I don't want to mess up. So I took it on. And so I want to kind of now break that down, do some reverse engineering, and help you do the same thing in your own way. So before anything, we need to do away with these like survey sites or, the coupon sites where it's like, oh, if you buy these items from this store, you get credit back or money back. Like, we need to do away with all of these things because I promise they're a waste of your time. Because here's the thing, you are essentially trading your most valuable resource, which is your time, for pocket change. I mean, there's nothing wrong with starting there. I obviously did as well. And I think it kind of was the door into entrepreneurship for me. It was like me getting a taste of earning money outside of like my corporate job. So there's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is, the skills to make big money, one, you probably already have them. And also, they're just not talked about as much. Those survey sites are on ads everywhere and so accessible and in front of millions, where learning what I have done is it's not taught. So now, moving on to point number 2 here is the fact that you already have a skill that you could sell. And I promise you that, like 100%, hands down, you already have a sellable skill. And I know you might be being, and I know your first instinct is to say, no, no, I don't. You don't know me. I don't have any skills worth selling. I thought the same thing. And I promise that you do. Let's break this down. Every job that you've ever had has taught you something that you could sell. And I mean that. Like, I remember I was so nervous and uncomfortable talking on the phone. And I remember it was one of my earlier jobs, not my first job, but one of my earlier jobs as like a grown up. I was a hostess at a restaurant here locally, and I would have to answer the phone and take phone orders, and I could just die. I was so nervous to get on the phone with these strangers. It's just like my heart would race. I have anxiety. I'm on medicine for it now, but like I was just so nervous. But that did teach me the skills to communicate better, to speak clearly on the phone, and that really benefited me in the rest of my like corporate career. And then I would say even now, because I get on meetings all the time, I'm meeting with potential clients. I'm obviously talking to you here on camera, and have to do in-person things with potential clients. And that one job got me over that hump. Do I feel good about like, so maybe I'm not sitting here teaching people how to talk on the phone, but as part of what I do teach people how to communicate and write really good emails to potential clients, and how to handle those, like, kind of interviews on the phone with potential clients or in person. And it all started from picking up that phone and taking that first food order. So again, jobs have taught you something that you could sell. Hobbies teach you something that you could sell. If you have a hobby that you have done for years and you're really good at it, say like crocheting, then that's a sellable skill. You could obviously crochet things for people as far as like a service, but you could also just talk about crocheting and coach somebody or do classes on crocheting. A a friend, a creator friend of mine, Cass, that's her whole premise of her YouTube channel is she crochets, she teaches, she talks about crocheting and sewing and, that cozy creative stuff. And that's her entire business model. And she's built something from that. Any kind of hobby you have, list it down as a potential skill. You don't have to be an expert at these things, by the way. You just need to be a little past beginner level. If you are past beginner, you can help beginners. Is there a problem that you solve in your personal life for your friends? Are you a go-to person for something? Is there a system that you built for your family, whether it's like meal planning or grocery list or, finances? Is there some sort of system that you created for yourself that could be sellable? Most likely there is. Everything I taught myself, everything I learned, and everything that I, talk about now was things I taught myself over time that were skills that I had acquired from doing normal things like hobbies and jobs. Again, with the communication skills, that's years of talking on the phone, writing emails, and corporate. The YouTube editing, or in this case, right now, I'm doing tour videos for Airbnbs, and I taught myself to edit doing just daily vlogs that nobody watched. And, I can design things in Canva because I've spent years playing around in it, because I've spent years in it just for fun. And so I think sometimes we just look at our lives as normal and boring and like there's no way I have any sort of sellable skill, but you do. You just really have to like strip back everything in your life and find the things that you do that maybe other people don't, or that you think other people would want to do or learn. In all the years of doing all of these things, never did I think I have a sellable skill until somebody hired me to do those things. No. So what all of this even is freelancing. And that is a term I was really unfamiliar with. I heard the term freelancing, but I didn't really know what it meant until I started working with Katie. And then I really started understanding a lot more about what freelancing is, what types of things fall under freelancing, charge as far as hourly for freelancing services. And, I am going to break all that down in a future video, but essentially you're doing something you enjoy or you love or you're really good at, and trading that for money. It's not complicated. It doesn't require a following or anything like that. I think that's another misconception is people think, well, who am I going to sell these services to? I don't have like a social media following. You don't need one. And none of the people I have started working with client wise know that I have social media. I just this month alone, I booked 2 Airbnbs, completely free stays, and I did tour videos for them. I did filming and photography for them. I did an Airbnb audit, an Instagram audit, all of these things, and none of them knew that I had, and they did not know that I even have a YouTube channel. So it doesn't require a following to get people. It requires the skill, the packaging, and the pitches and reaching out to people and doing so in a way that starts to build trust. A portfolio is there's a whole process which we are breaking through, which I plan to do multiple videos on this topic so I can teach you a little bit over time. But not one, but the one thing you don't need is a following. With like fancy hands, I was making $1 an hour. And now with some of my clients, I'm making over $100 an hour. And the skill level didn't change. It was just the way it's being done. It's not doing it through these little sites that pay tons of people little bits of money to do these big tasks. You are taking control of your life and you're selling your own service and your own skill. The only difference is you that is the only difference. And that's the difference between $1 an hour and $100 an hour. Here's some real talk for you. With these apps like Fancy Hands or the survey sites, I genuinely think that they are targeting women, specifically like women who want to be stay-at-home moms or work from home moms, or those who are already stay-at-home moms and want to make an additional income. I feel like they're targeting that person because we are desperate to have a flexible income. And it's just, that's a fact. That was me. That's why I was doing all of those things, because I knew the life I wanted was to be home to raise my children, and which is now just a child. I only had one. Oh, that's my pet. And I think that they purposely are targeting that demographic because they know we're desperate. And, I think they're kind of being sleazy because they're selling you on the idea that this is the best you can do. And girl, it's not. So I just wanted to say that so I'm hoping that I pop up on your feed and can correct that situation so you know that you're worth way more than that and that you have a skill worth selling. Now, I am in the background here trying to build a membership called the Digital Café. It's supposed to be like girlies meeting at a coffee shop, just having open communication, telling our stories. Obviously, resources will be in there. And I plan to do interviews with other freelancers and creators and things like that. It's in very early stages. I have put some resources in there, but it's just something I'm trying to build. And so if you want to be a part of that community, I will have it linked below. I would love to have you in there. And that way we can chat more like one-on-one. And it's almost like, group messages. I want to do group calls and things like that. And the whole reason I want to build this community is so for those of you who are like me in the past, they have somebody who understands what they're going through and has somebody there to talk to. So check that out in the description. And I have a little action item for you, actually. Write everything that you do in a whole entire day, if you can do it, a whole week, because, every day is different. And just write down every little thing you do. I mean, you will be surprised in what you can discover through that. So just, take a notepad and journal your day, journal your week. And, if you join the community, I would love to see what you end up journaling so that we can like break it down and find little nuggets of skills in there that you could sell. I really appreciate you being here today. And if you have any questions or want my advice on a skill that you have that could potentially be a sellable skill, then let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Bye.